in their nervous system, it's been doing all it can to get out of the storm. And so the moment you start adjusting these kiddos, even our severe epileptic patients, they start sleeping through the night.
You
They
just
start,
saying that.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it's so
It's
funny because
everything.
she is so neurosensitive.
Yep.
She never liked me helping her brush her teeth. Like she was that kid, like, don't touch my face, don't touch my
Yep.
ears, like very like, and I knew I was like, okay, she either is like on a spectrum or,
Yeah.
whatever. And I took her to my chiropractor to get adjusted and he just wanted to do like the Theragun on her just to see if she liked it.
Hey.
And she was like, she didn't want him touching her at all and like freaked out. With the first time that I took her in for the insight scan, first of all, the people at the front desk were just so
Right?
good with kids, right? Loved it, thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, you want to go back to the chiropractor? My mommy inside of me was so, because I had already paid for the plan. I'm like, okay, we're going to go 3 times a week. I don't know how this is going to work. She's probably going to end up screaming on the table and we're not going to get adjusted. Like, it's just not going to happen. Cause that's what I thought. I was like,
For
she's not
sure.
going to let them touch her. Oh my gosh. First time she laid down, she let him completely do the
Yep.
neck pop like that adults
Yep.
don't even, I mean, and you could see the change in her face when he
Yeah.
did that. And literally, she kept asking, when do I get to go back? And I said,
Yeah.
will you go back tomorrow? And she was so excited.
Yeah.
And now she just like runs up to the door and
Oh,
like knocks on it. And she's so excited to get adjusted. And I was so nervous when I was prepaying for this
yeah.
plan, but I told my husband, I said, you're going to see a charge on the credit card, but just trust me. Like
I
it
don't,
breaks down to like, this
yeah.
is going to set her up for life. And I am ready to invest in this. And oh my gosh, I am so happy. Like she goes 3 days a week for 8 weeks and then
Yep.
goes down and then
Yep.
goes down. But like, she looks forward to the chiropractor and
Yeah.
like literally when he touches, like at the beginning she would
Yeah.
but now when he touches her she just like is ready for it.
Just
She
melts
loves it
into it.
so
Yep.
much. And
Yeah.
it's when you said that, when you're like they have that wisdom inside
They
of them
do.
that like this is good for me. She knows, and I can
Yeah.
just see the relief on her face. And I just love it whenever they do the thermal thing on
Yep.
her and he's just like, all right, you're turned on, for the day, and they high five each other and then she goes and she really really loves it. And I just, for those people that are listening that
Yeah.
are like, oh no, my autistic kid would not
Yeah.
let somebody touch them, right? Because that's a big thing,
Gotta be
like
the right,
a lot of
it's
kids
gotta
with
be the right
autism.
somebody. It
Totally. And it's like, I just thought in my head, I'm like, she's not even autistic,
wow.
but
Yeah.
she doesn't like people touching her, unless it's
Wow.
mommy. But even me, I couldn't even touch anywhere near her neck, her face. And within the
Yeah.
first visit, I mean, she's like there. So
Emmy, this, I don't know what
it's
to say,
cool.
my friend.
It's
This
cool.
is, see that the stories, people are always like, oh, that's the stories explain the science, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can't separate the two from each other. That is the difference. And that's so powerful. Gosh, I don't even know what to say. And I'm freaking Tony the talker here because that melts my heart. The amount of happiness and joy and excitement that gives me. One, to know that you're a beautiful baby girl. By the way, Adeline, my girls are Adeline, or sorry, Addison, Amelia. We're like so named
I
the
love
same with our
that. I
families, right?
love it.
Amelia, over here we got Addisons and Amelia,
Yeah.
so we totally got to hang.
I
But
love
one,
it.
for her, it makes all the difference just knowing that your sweet, beautiful girl is no longer stuck with that sensory stress holding her
Yeah.
back, and it will no longer hold her back from anywhere in life. That's the most important thing in this. But then also to know that, yeah, our PX docs are really out there doing things differently because it breaks my heart, one, that families don't know about the work that neurologically focused chiropractic can do for their kids, and two, there's kind of a double shot sometimes where it's like, oh, they'll get excited about it or they'll hear about it and they'll go to, and this is not a shot at ordinary chiropractors,
No.
there's just a difference,
Yeah.
and they'll go to kind of an ordinary chiropractor and the kiddo will hate it, or they won't do the inside scans, or they won't recommend enough care plan, or they won't use the right technique, or the front desk. Sometimes the front desk, the kid walks in, they're like, nope, you know? And so all of this, like we freaking dot the I's, as you now know and are experiencing, my friend.
Yeah.
We go to the nth degree with everything. Like even the paint colors and the design of our office are designed to be sensory kid friendly
Oh
so
yeah.
that you get the chance to tap into that healing and make those adjustments. And once these kiddos experience just one, the only thing they get mad about is if we don't do more.
Yeah,
They're like they don't want to
it's
leave, right?
true.
Yeah, they love it so much.
It's so true. Even like the
Yeah.
little playroom, I was
Yep.
like, oh, thankfully, like they
Yeah.
understand like
Yep.
this is a place for kids, you know? And it's
Amazing.
like she gets so excited to go in and Ollie the owl that we put on the
Yes.
table, you know, like she's just so excited to go.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just this is why I really wanted to take her before I talked to you because I've always wanted to like get her in. It just was I was so busy with births and now
Yep.
finally my births are like cleared up for the summer, you know? So I was like, all right, well, she's out of school for the summer. This is going to be a great time to start her program with the PX Docs. And I'm going to put a link in the bio of this for people to find a PX Docs chiropractic, you know, the
Awesome.
link to find one
Yeah.
near you because I really do think that yeah, what you're teaching these chiropractors and the work that you're doing and the education and empowerment that you're doing with parents is so important,
Awesome.
you know?
Awesome.
It
Awesome.
really is.
So
Um man, I'm like I could touch on a million things. So tell me like tell me if somebody like is doing the chiropractic work because I know like in the office they also carry, you know, the pooper and
yeah.
the happy and
Yeah.
all of that, right? Because I tried to do a parasite detox and a heavy metal
Oh yeah.
detox on her. I've
Yeah.
tried to do all these things and it would make her, she would get sick. Like it would, I
Oh,
could tell that
gotcha.
she wasn't reacting.
Yep.
And so I know now that I needed to address the nervous system first before starting that. Can you talk about that? Like if people are thinking
Oh, I
like,
sure
"Oh,
can.
I need to do a heavy metal detox," like the importance of regulating the nervous system before that?
Yeah, you got it. Oh, what a great question. Yeah, so there's a sequence to this storm. So let's put three sequences together. They're actually all the same. And once you see them go one, two, three, then it'll be like, oh, now I see how to reorder things. So number one, God designed us literally from conception on to be nervous system first. Okay.
Yeah.
The very first thing to develop in utero is the brainstem and the neural tube. Okay. So it's the brainstem, it's the spinal cord, it's the spinal sensory cranial nerves, it's the nervous system first because it has to control every beat of the heart, every breath of the lungs, every, movement of digestion. The nervous system is literally what develops first. And so when we go, so that's sequence number one. So whenever we go to get healing to happen in a specific order, we've got to mimic, we've got to follow development. Second, if we go into the case history, like we talked about with the perfect storm, where most kids have their storm start to go off track is not chemical. So digestion, parasites, toxins, strep. And it's also not even physical, even though we just went off about birth trauma, it's usually emotional.
Yeah.
It's usually the emotional stress, which people, it's kind of funny, right? And this will be really simple for everybody to get. All three forms of stress for 120 years, chiropractic has talked about them as the three T's. So thoughts, traumas, toxins, physical, chemical, emotional stress. It all ends up in our somatic physical system. Ever had a really stressful, emotional, challenging day? How's your neck feel, mom and dad?
Mm-hmm.
Terrible, right? You physically feel that. Ever gone out after your baby's done nursing and you're like, let's go get some margaritas, and you have one, and like the next day your neck won't move more than 2 degrees, right? So toxins hit you physically. I'm kind of landed in my way, but it all ends up in the nervous system. So when we look at a kiddo's case history, we actually know that the nervous system got off track before the gut, before the immune system, before the parasites. Okay. And then three, we can honestly just look at our intake forms and go, hey, you've either done all this already and at well, sometimes here's how it goes. If a child truly has subluxation and nervous system dysregulation, I mean, which most do,
Mm-hmm.
everybody listening, I know this might be brand new to you, but just jump all the way forward with us and understand that nearly 100% of them had subluxation and nervous system dysregulation first, foundationally. So for this science, let's assume that's there. If you then go full hog with diet changes, detoxes, parasites, MNRI, everything else, you're going to get one of three outcomes if you're trying to get this nutritional intervention on top of a neurological need. Number one, you'll get a small benefit. That's awesome, right? You're going to have less inflammation, less sickness. Like sometimes parents will report, hey, we're seeing some good things. We're not seeing breakthrough. We're not seeing, this full healing of the big nervous system stuff, but we're seeing some good stuff. The second outcome, nothing. no change. They're spending, they did all the testing, all the things. And the third outcome is far more common than the first two.